Welcome to Hollywood 1960s TV, where the warmest corners of classic television come back to life. In 1963, Petticoat Junction opened the doors of the Shady Rest Hotel and invited America into a world of small-town laughter, family loyalty, front porch wisdom, and the gentle rhythm of the Hooterville Cannonball. It was a sitcom filled with charm, music, mischief, and unforgettable faces. Tonight, we return to Hooterville and remember the stars who made Petticoat Junction one of television's most beloved rural treasures. Kate Bradley is the heart of the Shady Rest Hotel, a mother, businesswoman, and moral center whose warmth held Petticoat Junction together. Played by Bea Benaderet, born in 1906 in New York City, New York, Kate became the soul of the series when it premiered in 1963. Benaderet was 57 at the time, and she gave Kate a rare balance of humor, patience, strength, and everyday wisdom. In a household full of daughters, visitors, railroadmen, and Uncle Joe's schemes, Kate was the steady voice that kept everything from drifting too far into chaos. She could be gentle, but never weak, funny, but never foolish. Her presence made the Shady Rest feel less like a sitcom setting and more like a real home. Before Petticoat Junction, Benaderet had already built a remarkable career in radio and television, including The Flintstones and The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show. She passed away in 1968 at 62. Her Kate Bradley remains warm, wise, and deeply missed. Sam Drucker is small-town reliability with a friendly smile, the kind of man who knows everyone's business, but somehow makes that feel like community rather than gossip. Played by Frank Cady, born in 1915 in Susanville, California, Sam became one of the most beloved faces in the Hooterville universe. Cady was 48 when Petticoat Junction began in 1963, and he gave Sam an easygoing charm that made the general store feel like the crossroads of the whole valley. Sam was more than a shopkeeper. He was a listener, a helper, a messenger, and often the person who connected the worlds of Petticoat Junction, Green Acres, and the Beverly Hillbillies. Cady's performance carried warmth without exaggeration, giving the character a natural small-town truth. He made Sam feel like someone viewers had known all their lives. After decades of memorable television work, Frank Cady passed away in 2012 at 96. His Sam Drucker remains kind, dependable, and forever at home behind the counter. Bobby Jo Bradley is sweetness with a bright spark, the middle sister whose charm, humor, and warmth helped keep the Bradley family full of life. Played by Laurie Saunders, born in 1941 in Kansas City, Missouri, Bobby Jo entered Petticoat Junction in 1965 and became a cherished part of the show's later rhythm. Saunders was 24 at the time, and she brought the character a sunny gentleness that made her instantly likable. Bobby Jo often carried the softer emotional notes of the series, whether caring for animals, helping her sisters, or adding light comedy to the daily life of the Shady Rest Hotel. Her version of Bobby Jo felt relaxed, affectionate, and quietly sincere, giving the family dynamic a new warmth after the role changed hands. Saunders' natural screen presence helped audiences accept the transition and continue loving the Bradley sisters as a group. After the series, she worked in television before stepping away from acting. In 2026, Laurie Saunders is 85. Her Bobby Jo remains gentle, bright, and fondly remembered. Floyd Smoot is the gentle soul of the Hooterville Cannonball, a train conductor whose kindness and confusion brought soft comedy to Petticoat Junction. Played by Ruth Davis, born in 1908 in Vinson, Oklahoma, Floyd became one of the show's most endearing supporting figures when the series began in 1963. Davis was 55 at the time, and he brought the character a folksy charm that fit perfectly with the rural world of the Shady Rest Hotel. Floyd was never slick or sophisticated, but that was his appeal. His loyal friendship with Charlie Pratt His mild misunderstandings and his easy warmth made him feel like part of the local landscape. The cannonball was not only a train in Petticoat Junction, it was a symbol of community, and Floyd helped give it a heart. Davis had a long career in entertainment, blending music, comedy, and character acting with homespun ease. He passed away in 1974, at 66. His Floyd Smoot remains sweet, simple, and unforgettable. Billie Jo Bradley is ambition wrapped in charm. The eldest Bradley daughter, whose dreams of music and success brought a lively modern energy to the Shady Rest Hotel. Played by Meredith MacRae, born in 1944 in Houston, Texas, Billie Jo entered Petticoat Junction in 1966. MacRae was 22 at the time, and she gave the role a confident sparkle that helped define the later years of the series. Her Billie Jo was beautiful, yes, but never only decorative. She carried drive, humor, and the hope of becoming something larger than the small-town world around her. That made her a perfect reflection of the changing 1960s, when television heroines could dream beyond home while still loving the family that shaped them. MacRae brought music, warmth, and a fresh sense of personality to the role. Beyond Petticoat Junction, she worked in television, film, and later as a talk show host. She passed away in 2000, at 56. Her Billie Jo remains graceful, hopeful, and full of song. Steve Elliott is romance arriving by airplane. A handsome crop duster pilot whose kindness brought adventure and stability into the Bradley family's world. Played by Mike Minor, born in 1940 in San Francisco, California, Steve became one of Petticoat Junction's most memorable later additions. Minor was 24 when he first took on the role in 1964, and he gave Steve an easy warmth that made him feel instantly at home in Hooterville. His relationship with Betty Jo Bradley became one of the show's most heartfelt storylines, growing from romance into marriage and family life. Steve worked because he was not just a charming outsider, he became part of the Shady Rest's emotional future. His presence added movement, maturity, and a gentle sense that life was changing for the Bradley girls. Minor also had musical talent, which suited the show's soft, melodic spirit. He passed away in 2016, at 75. His Steve Elliott remains kind, handsome, and forever tied to Betty Jo's story. Charlie Pratt is the cheerful sound of the Hooterville Cannonball, a lovable engineer whose music, humor, and good nature made the train feel like a character of its own. Played by Smiley Burnette, born in 1911 in Summum, Illinois, Charlie became part of Petticoat Junction from its early years. Burnette was 52 when he first appeared in 1963, and he brought decades of Western entertainment experience into the role. Charlie's friendship with Floyd Smoot gave the series one of its sweetest comic pairings. Two railroad men whose simple loyalty and gentle confusion helped define the show's rural charm. Burnette's musical background added another layer to the character, making Charlie feel rooted in old-time entertainment and country warmth. His presence connected Petticoat Junction to a tradition of songs, trains, and small-town storytelling. Sadly, Smiley Burnette's time on the series was cut short. He passed away in 1967, at 55. His Charlie Pratt remains musical, kind-hearted, and forever aboard the Cannonball. Billie Jo Bradley, in her original form, brought youthful sparkle and big dreams to the early seasons of Petticoat Junction. Played by Jeannine Riley, born in 1940 in Madera, California, Billie Jo helped introduce audiences to the Bradley sisters when the series began in 1963. Riley was 23 at the time, and she gave the character a lively, bubbly confidence that made Billie Jo stand out as the sister with show business dreams and a bright sense of possibility. Her version of Billie Jo was playful, pretty, and ambitious, bringing a touch of glamour into the homespun world of the Shady Rest Hotel. Riley's performance helped shape the first impression of the Bradley family and gave the early series some of its youthful energy. Though she later left the show, Her work remained part of the foundation that fans remembered. After Petticoat Junction, she appeared in other television projects before stepping away from the spotlight. In 2026, Jeannine Riley is 86. Her Billie Jo remains sunny, spirited, and full of early Hooterville charm. Bobby Jo Bradley, in the show's original seasons, was the thoughtful middle daughter, a young woman with intelligence, humor, and dreams that made her more than just part of a sisterly trio. Played by Pat Woodell, born in 1944 in Winthrop, Massachusetts, Bobby Jo helped define the first version of the Bradley family when Petticoat Junction began in 1963. Woodell was 19 at the time, and she brought the role a clever, slightly more literary quality, often making Bobby Jo feel curious and self-aware. Her ambition to write gave the character a distinctive identity, separating her from Billie Jo's show business sparkle and Betty Jo's tomboy energy. Woodell's performance added wit and gentle intelligence to the family dynamic, helping audiences see each sister as her own person. After leaving the series in 1965, she explored film work and later moved into business consulting. She passed away in 2015, at 71. Her Bobby Jo remains bright, thoughtful, and warmly remembered by early fans. Dr. Janet Craig is calm compassion, arriving when the shady rest needed a new center of gravity. Played by June Lockhart, born in 1925 in New York City, New York, Dr. Craig joined Petticoat Junction in 1968 after the loss of Bea Benaderet. Lockhart was 43 at the time, and she brought the character, dignity, intelligence, and a gentle authority that helped the series move forward through a difficult transition. As a doctor and trusted family friend, Janet Craig became a voice of reason in a world of playful schemes, romantic confusion, and small-town eccentricity. She did not replace Kate Bradley in spirit, but she offered comfort, stability, and warmth at a moment when the show needed all three. Lockhart was already beloved for Lassie and would also be remembered for Lost in Space, making her one of television's most familiar maternal figures. In 2026, June Lockhart is 101. Her Dr. Janet Craig remains graceful, wise, and deeply reassuring. Billie Jo Bradley, as played by Gunilla Hutton, brought a fresh musical sweetness to the Bradley family. Hutton was born in 1944 in Gothenburg, Sweden, and joined Petticoat Junction in 1965 at the age of 21. Her Billie Jo carried beauty, charm, and a good-natured brightness that fit easily into the world of the Shady Rest Hotel. The role had already been established, but Hutton gave it her own gentle musical personality, helping the eldest Bradley sister remain lively and appealing during the show's middle years. In a series built on family warmth and rural comedy, Billie Jo often represented youthful hopes, romantic possibilities, and the dream of a wider life beyond Hooterville. Hutton's presence brought softness and lightness to that dream, while her musical abilities added to the show's entertainment spirit. After Petticoat Junction, she appeared on Hee Haw and other television programs, becoming fondly remembered by classic TV fans. In 2026, Gunilla Hutton is 82. Her Billie Jo remains charming, melodic, and warmly tied to the show's golden years. Homer Bedloe is the man who could turn bureaucracy into comedy, a railroad executive whose endless attempts to shut down the Hooterville Cannonball made him one of Petticoat Junction's most memorable antagonists. Played by Charles Lane, born in 1905 in San Francisco, California, Bedloe entered the series with a sharp voice, stiff posture, and a face made for irritation. Lane was 58 when he first took on the role in 1963, and he gave Bedloe the perfect comic edge, officious, impatient, and forever defeated by the stubborn charm of Hooterville. His schemes worked, because the audience knew he represented outside authority, trying to crush something beloved. The Cannonball was more than transportation. It was community, memory, and rural identity. Lane had one of the longest careers in Hollywood, often playing bankers, clerks, officials, and cranky authority figures with brilliant precision. He passed away in 2007 at 102. His Homer Bedloe remains sharp, scheming, and hilariously doomed to fail. Wendell Gibbs is small-town sweetness with a little confusion around the edges. A postmaster whose gentle manner made him a natural fit for Petticoat Junction's world of friendly misadventures. Played by Byron Falger. Born in 1899 in Ogden, Utah, Wendell joined the series in 1965. Falger was 66 at the time, and he brought the character a soft, lovable quality that made even his bumbling moments feel endearing. In Hooterville, the post office was not just a place for mail, it was another gathering point in a community where everyone knew each other's troubles, hopes, and schemes. Wendell's presence added to that lived-in feeling, making the town seem full of familiar faces beyond the Bradley family. Falger had a remarkably long career in film and television, appearing in hundreds of roles and often bringing warmth to modest, eccentric characters. He passed away in 1970, at 70. His Wendell Gibbs remains gentle, quirky, and part of Hooterville's soft comic heartbeat. Selma Plout is meddling comedy with a sharp tongue, a woman whose nosy schemes gave Petticoat Junction some of its liveliest neighborhood friction. Played by Elvia Allman, born in 1904 in Enochville, North Carolina, Selma became one of those characters audiences loved to see stir the pot. Allman was 59 when she first took on the role in 1963, and she gave Selma a wonderful edge, pushy, opinionated, suspicious, and always ready to interfere. In a show built on warmth, characters like Selma mattered because they added comic resistance. She could clash with the Bradley family, disrupt plans, and bring tension into Hooterville without ever making the world feel cruel. Allman had a long and colorful career across radio, animation, film, and television, including memorable work in I Love Lucy and the Beverly Hillbillies. She also provided the voice of Disney's Clarabelle Cow. She passed away in 1992 at 87. Her Selma Plout remains nosy, funny, and wonderfully sharp. Newt Kiley is dependable country kindness, the kind of neighbor who makes Hooterville feel like a place where help is never too far away. Played by K.E. Cooter. Born in 1925 in Los Angeles, California, Newt entered Petticoat Junction in 1964. Cooter was 39 at the time, and he brought the character a grounded warmth that suited the show's rural spirit. Newt was a friendly farmer, someone whose presence reminded viewers that the world around the Shady Rest Hotel was filled with ordinary people, working land, sharing favors, and keeping a small community alive. Cooter's performance did not need to be flashy. It worked because it felt honest. He later built a wide career across television and film, appearing in Green Acres, Seinfeld, The X-Files, and lending his distinctive voice to animated and commercial work. He passed away in 2003, at 78. His Newt Kiley remains neighborly, steady, and quietly essential to Hooterville's charm. Roger Budd is young romance with awkward sincerity, a boy whose date with Betty Jo Bradley brought a touch of teenage sweetness into Petticoat Junction. Played by Jack Bannon, born in 1940 in Los Angeles, California, Roger appeared in the 1963 episode Betty Jo's First Love. Bannon was 23 at the time, and he gave the character a youthful charm that fit the innocence of the storyline. Roger's role may be brief, but it reflects one of the show's gentler pleasures, watching the Bradley girls grow, dream, flirt, and experience small emotional milestones under the watchful warmth of family and community. His attempts to win Betty Jo's attention added humor and tenderness, without disturbing the cozy rhythm of the series. Bannon later became widely known for his role as Art Donovan on Lou Grant, building a respected television career beyond this early appearance. He passed away in 2017, at 77. His Roger Budd remains a small but sincere part of Betty Jo's coming-of-age story. Oliver Wendell Douglas is idealism, carried across the Hooterville universe, a New York attorney who dreams of farming and brings Green Acres energy into the world, connected to Petticoat Junction, played by Eddie Albert. Born in 1906 in Rock Island, Illinois, Oliver became one of classic television's most memorable rural comedy figures. Albert was 59 when he took on the role in 1965, and he gave Oliver a wonderful mixture of dignity, frustration, and unshakable belief in the American dream. Although best known from Green Acres, Oliver's connection to Hooterville ties him naturally to Petticoat Junction's wider world. He works because he is the straight man surrounded by absurdity, a serious man trying to make sense of a community that happily refuses to operate by ordinary rules. Albert's performance made Oliver both comic and admirable, a man whose stubborn hope became part of his charm. He passed away in 2005, at 99. His Oliver Wendell Douglas remains principled, exasperated, and forever chasing the dream of a farm. Orrin Pike is gentle awkwardness with a romantic heart, a game warden whose affection for Bobby Joe Bradley brought sweetness to Petticoat Junction's later years. Played by Jonathan Daly, born in 1942 in Chicago, Illinois, Orrin appeared in the series in 1969. Daly was 27 at the time, and he gave the character a shy, earnest quality that made him easy to like. Orrin was not a flashy romantic figure. His charm came from sincerity, uncertainty, and the feeling of a young man trying his best inside the soft comedy of Hooterville. His interest in Bobby Joe added a tender note to the ensemble, giving the show another glimpse of love, courtship, and small-town emotion. Daly later appeared in The Jimmy Stewart Show and CPO Sharkey, and became known in Australia as part of the comedy duo Dello and Daly. In 2026, Jonathan Daly is 84. His Orrin Pike remains modest, kind, and warmly remembered. Fred Ziffel is farmer eccentricity at its most unforgettable, a man whose devotion to Arnold the Pig turned one of television's strangest family jokes into pure rural comedy gold. Played by Hank Patterson, born in 1888 in Springville, Alabama, Fred became part of the Hooterville world when Petticoat Junction began in 1963. Patterson was 75 at the time, and he brought the character a deep voice, slow timing, and a wonderful seriousness that made the joke work. Fred did not treat Arnold as a gag. He treated him like a son, and that complete sincerity made the comedy even funnier. His appearances connected Petticoat Junction to Green Acres and the Beverly Hillbillies, giving the Hooterville universe one of its most beloved oddballs. Despite being nearly deaf later in life, Patterson continued performing with help from production staff, showing remarkable commitment. He passed away in 1975, at 86. His Fred Ziffel remains eccentric, lovable, and forever proud of Arnold. Norman Curtis is Railroad Authority, with a stern face and comic possibilities. The president of the CNFW Railroad, who added another layer of business pressure to the Hooterville world. Played by Roy Roberts. Born in 1906 in Tampa, Florida, Norman appeared in Petticoat Junction when the series began in 1963. Roberts was 57 at the time, and he brought the role a firm, commanding presence that made him a believable figure of corporate control. In a show where the cannonball train symbolized community and tradition, railroad executives often became comic obstacles, representing rules, efficiency, and the outside world's impatience with Hooterville's slower rhythm. Roberts knew how to play authority without making it dull, giving Norman a stern energy that could clash beautifully with the town's eccentric charm. Beyond Petticoat Junction, Roberts appeared in many classic television series, including McHale's Navy, The Beverly Hillbillies, and The Lucy Show. He passed away in 1975, at 69. His Norman Curtis remains firm, polished, and part of the show's railroad comedy legacy. Uncle Joe Carson is lazy charm with a schemer's smile, the kind of man who can avoid work, chase a wild idea, and still somehow remain lovable. Played by Edgar Buchanan, born in 1903 in Humansville, Missouri, Uncle Joe became one of the comic hearts of Petticoat Junction when the series began in 1963. Buchanan was 60 at the time, and he gave the character a gruff voice, easy warmth, and the wonderful rhythm of a man always just one excuse away from doing nothing. Uncle Joe could be selfish, slippery, and full of get-rich-quick dreams. Yet his affection for Kate Bradley and her daughters kept him from ever feeling cold. He belonged perfectly to the Shady Rest Hotel, a place where trouble usually arrived with a laugh and left with family still intact. Before Petticoat Junction, Buchanan had already built a long career in film and television, especially in westerns. He passed away in 1979, at 76. His Uncle Joe remains funny, familiar, and impossible not to love. Betty Jo Bradley is youthful energy running through the Shady Rest, a spirited youngest daughter whose tomboy warmth gave Petticoat Junction some of its freshest charm. Played by Linda Henning, born in 1944 in Los Angeles, California, Betty Jo was part of the show from its 1963 beginning. Henning was 19 at the time, and she brought the character a lively mix of adventure, sweetness, and sincerity. Betty Jo was never just the youngest sister. She grew across the series, maturing from a playful girl into a loving wife and mother, especially through her romance with Steve Elliott. That journey helped give the sitcom a gentle sense of time passing, even inside its cozy world of small-town comedy. Henning's performance made Betty Jo feel real, bright, open-hearted, and deeply connected to her family. After Petticoat Junction, she continued working in television, theater, and classic TV appearances. In 2026, Linda Henning is 82. Her Betty Jo Bradley remains spirited, tender, and forever tied to the heart of Hooterville. And that is why Petticoat Junction still feels like a train ride back to a gentler television world. It was more than a sitcom about a hotel, a family, and an old railroad line. It was a portrait of community, kindness, small-town mischief, and people who made Hooterville feel like home. Many of these stars have taken their final bow, while a few remain with us in 2026, carrying living links to the golden age of rural comedy. If this journey through classic television brought back warm memories, please like, subscribe, and stay with Hollywood 1960s TV, where the legends of the golden age live on.